The broadcast is live.
All right, all right, all right. What is up? Welcome to Unschooled with myself, Mandee Elam, and the beautiful Lexi Duquette, our mermaid in the mountains. What's up, Lex?
I am so excited that we're bringing Unschooled back, but in a live format because I've been dying to get back to these just conscious conversations. And I'm so excited to be here today.
Yay, me too. If you're joining us live, thank you. If you're catching the replay, amazing. We are from Sea Goddess Healing Arts. You can find us on seagoddesshealingarts.com. And Unschooled is a cool show Lexi and I have done for a couple of years now. And previously we would record it and post it, but we decided this year we want to go live and just have conversations and talk about new things that we're learning. In particular, we love deep dives. We love learning about things we weren't necessarily taught in school, or we like relearning and rewiring things we were taught that are maybe no longer serving us. So thank you for joining this conversation in season 3 of Unschooled, and we're so excited to be here. So if you have any questions, comments, you want to say hi, if you want to talk about anything or want us to talk about anything, let us know. Drop it in the comments. Lex, what's on your heart or mind most as you're thinking about this season of Unschooled?
Oh, so this season of Unschooled, I really was thinking about how, we can read the books, we learn all of this great stuff, right? And we have all of these tools, we know about it, but the process of actually applying them and bringing it into the process of rewiring yourself to create these healthier habits, to heal, to, live in alignment, to add in these things that we want to add in. It's a dance. And right, we think, oh, we just read the book, we now know it, that's it, and that's like where it only just begins. And so for me, this cleanse time of year that we tend to at Sea Goddess Healing Arts, a group of us tend to feel called to do this time of year. Yes, this cleanse, it's such a dance, and I feel like people feel called to do it, but then it feels so overwhelming, so it's like that feeling of, since we're not doing it to the max, that then hi Ursula, that then means you're failing. And the fact of the matter is just like any little attempt, like even if you didn't get the full day of staying on a certain diet, that what did you do? Did you become aware of what you were putting in your body? Did you get in something a little different that felt good? So it's just like that process, and more making that normal, right? Because I feel like we beat ourselves up because we haven't hit a certain goal, when we should be celebrating the steps it takes to get to that goal. So
I think so. Moment by moment, day by day. It's really it's a series. This is what creates the dance, is it's a bunch of conscious thoughts and movements and choices that we end up weaving together. And that's how you can create it and embody it and walk it. And hi, Ursula. We're so glad you're here too. And I was going to check and see if our YouTube was working, but Ursula commented from YouTube. So we're working there. Excellent. And whoever else is watching, thank you. We're so grateful you're joining us. Lexi and I are bringing conscious conversations live. So our affirmation today, we always like to look at whatever's going on for our Louise Hay affirmation. And it's, I live in a loving, abundant, harmonious universe. I am grateful. I love that. That's a pretty juicy one for today. It's easier said than done. And especially right now, we just held a really amazing soul circle last night. If you enjoy holding soul space, we would love for you to join us at one of our online soul circles. You can find it right on seagoddesshealingarts.com. And once a month, we'll meet virtually and hold space with people all over the world, most of the time all over the country. And oh yay, hi Kara, hi Andrea, fantastic. So glad you guys are here. Yes, we are popping up, and we're going to start doing this show Unschooled live every week, hopefully. That is our intention. So what we do in our soul circles is we just we hold space, we come up with a topic for the night, we have an introduction around that, and we encourage each person to share. We sometimes do some sort of what Lexi and I like to call a shadow twerk or a shadow twerk out or a tool. So we do some sort of activity, whether it's a guided meditation or a soul inquiry or tapping or all kinds of different things. We'll do burning ceremonies with bay leaves sometimes. And then after that experience, we share again about what our soul is calling for most, things rising, things falling, what's potent, what's not, what are things we're wanting to put our energy into, or maybe take our energy away from. So it's this really beautiful, amazing space and cocoon, and we love doing that. So if you missed it, don't worry, we do it at least once a month, online and in person sometimes. And Lexi, I was wondering if you would share a little bit about your amazing group that you're hosting now too.
Yeah, so we at Sea Goddess Healing Arts just started offering a Goddesses in Recovery group every other Sunday at 3:33 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. And it is just a sacred space to come together and support one another. Also, a big part of it for me was wanting to come together and just, send out the love and create like a conscious change around the way we talk about and stigmatize addiction and recovery. I myself have been in recovery for hitting my 10th year, and it has been such a process. And I was in the closet for so long, and so many low frequencies and energies, like I feel like I held in that process, and I had to learn to let go of the shame and the guilt. And so I feel like there are great options out there, great spaces to go, but this is a space where we get to kind of embody mind, body, spirit in recovery, support one another, send out love to those that are going through it, and then just show up for one another to hold space no matter where you are on your journey, and just lay it on the altar, as we like to say here. So it's a sacred little space, and you can come as you please. It's free. So if it feels called to you, come drop on by one of these Sundays, come visit. You don't have to commit to anything other than just showing up for yourself. So it's so exciting to see it taking off.
It is. And it's an opportunity too, even if you're someone who supports people in recovery or not, where you have active addiction in your life and you're having a hard time navigating it. A lot of times in some other places or traditions, like that gets separated. But in this conversation, like you're welcome to come and you're welcome to hold space. And we're really excited to see what it grows into, because we've come to realize soul circle after soul circle that many of us have been impacted by substance abuse in one way or another, and all kinds of traumas and things that have happened along our life course. And so these soul circles, the Goddess in Recovery group, the classes, they're all there to support us, to help us to heal and grow and step more into our light. It's 111. Love that.
Such a sacred time. In this space too, I would really like to be able to invite in more people, parents, people that have maybe an addict in their life or somebody in recovery, or because I feel like when we come together and we get to see it from different views and support each other in the different views, that's how we're going to create that tidal wave of change and healing. Because whether it's you or not, or someone you love, that still creates a wound and the trauma stored within you. So we still need to bring our awareness to it and, hold space for healing and shine our light on that part, because it can be difficult. So
Absolutely. So, what else should we talk about? I guess something that's been rising for many people. Lexi and I just finished teaching our first shadow twerk class, which was amazing. And round 2 is going to be coming soon. It's an opportunity where you can be supported while doing your work, while figuring out this crazy earth school and life, and figuring out how to truly trust yourself and your intuition, and release pain and trauma and drama and step into power and trust. And it's a wild container to be in. And at the same time, though, we all go through it in one way or another. And so what happens is we're able to support one another and give tools, and we call it twerkouts and talks. And this past the past 7 weeks that we did it. It was incredible, wasn't it, Lexi, to see how natural things unfolded and how truly in alignment everyone was once we set an intention and worked with the energies. It was like, here it is. This is what you guys wanted to work on. So here it is. And it happened in the coolest ways, didn't it?
It did. It showed up. It was so fun to see the synchronicities of the class and things that are arising within each person who was showing up, and also seeing the empowerment happen, right? Seeing everybody just bring their awareness to these certain subtle aspects and different seeing it from different views, right? Our body, our energy, just those lessons, and then like using it and seeing the energetic up levelings of everybody that was showing up to do the work. And I feel like shadow work can sound scary, and a lot of the times has kind of almost a negative type, like facing our fears. It's, digging into that hard stuff, the stuff that we normally kind of want to avoid, ignore, suppress, pretend it's not there. And it doesn't have to be scary. And yes, it can be difficult, but when you have those tools and that, like, the intention of doing it and making it fun per se, finding ways to transmute and those hard energies and alchemize it and into something that actually serves you more, so it's powerful and potent. And that space was just so sacred and beautiful, and I'm excited for our next round of shadow work. And it is, when we plan it, we kind of trust in spirit and what are the energies right now, like what are we hearing across the collective. And it's so amazing how in tune it ends up being and how it ends up resonating, draws in the right people, the people that need to hear it the most or be there or going through similar things in one way or another. So
Totally. It's true. Thank you, Ursula. Ursula posted a link to register for Goddesses in Recovery. And Andrea said, "This is amazing. I supported a sibling for over 20 years, and she is thriving now out of addiction." That's amazing. And we're sending you such love. And Chelsea Eller says, "Hi, Lexi." And so we're so excited and grateful you guys are here. So
yeah.
maybe we could actually, I was thinking, give a little example. Lexi's an incredible. And one of the things we did in shadow work was we really started to teach about the energetic body and what that looks like. And each week we focused on a new chakra. And for some people, it was a little bit of a repeat, but building the foundation and remembering that we have to like meet our basic needs at all times. And one of the coolest, I think, workouts that we did was the vagus nerve reset that you taught us, and we have many other amazing nuggets, but maybe we could share a little bit about that today and share a little bit about the energy system, kind of how it works, and a little bit of a way to reset. So maybe we'll start with that, with the vagus nerve or whatever's popping off for you.
I think that's a great idea, especially since this is something where we're at that kind of transitional time right now. Energy, we're still under a lot of heaviness. I feel like a lot of things are arising for many people. So being able to have that tool to help your body reset itself in stressful times, and there's many ways to do it. So this is just a couple little ways to go about it, but you can literally search it, and there are so many different methods to reset your vagus nerve. These are just some of my ways that I have found simple, easy to tie in, especially when you're in the middle of a kind of adrenal hit. Many of us don't realize that we now live in a world that pretty much puts you in adrenal fatigue. It is a world that supports adrenal fatigue. Our adrenals are constantly getting hit. Now our phones are beeping, they're going off, we're getting alerts for text messages, emails. We have so much happening. Prices are rising. Life is challenging right now. Earth, being a human, is kind of heavy right now. We got a lot going on. And so that puts a lot of stress on our adrenals, and our adrenals control our immunity. They control our sleep, our melatonin production. They are really a part of our body that when they are stressed and not able to regulate themselves and get back down to your relaxed kind of homeostasis level, then it is constantly producing these hormones that can cause anxiety, depression, fatigue. It will have effects in so many ways, and it can then domino effect into so many physical ailments too. And so becoming aware that when we get that kind of hit of, fight or flight, like the phone rings, what is it? Or we are trying to figure out a challenge, a situation, a Ford life. That gets pumping, right? And it usually takes our body 7 hours to regulate after getting a fight or flight hit. So 7 hours for our adrenals, for our levels to come down. So when you do a vagus nerve reset, you are helping your body kind of shortcut that 7 hours and get back into your homeostasis, relax, bring the production of hormones down. And if you think about when you get that feeling, right, of either excitement or anxiety, it's the same symptoms. You kind of get that rush, you kind of get that the endorphins flowing, the heart pumping. And for some people, if you struggle with anxiety, you can get, that feeling of anxiety in your chest if your mind is, not in the greatest place, or if your excitement, even excitement stirs this up. So what I have learned and what has helped me, these little baby steps to add, they're just so simple. It's just, when you realize you've gotten that hit, taking that moment to practice your pause. Who is it that says it? Who's the one that we love who
Oh, you froze a little for me. Hopefully you'll be right back. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Hi, Christy. Thank you so much for being here. We're so grateful you all are joining us. Hi, Jessie May. This is Unschooled Live. There's Lexi. I was like, she'll be right back. This is good. It's a good time. Yeah, right?
Uh-oh.
All is well. All is well. And Jesse jumped on and Christy jumped on. And so we wanted to say hello. And what we're talking about right now is welcome to season 3 of Unschooled. We are going live this year and taking you all on our deep dive conversations with us. In the past, if you go to our YouTube, our Sea Goddess Healing Arts YouTube channel, we have a whole Unschooled playlist in there of these amazing conversations that Lexi and I have had, and we've interviewed a lot of awesome people too. Phil Lacrosse about his CBD company, Holly, or did we have Holly on? Holly Joy McCabe we've had on several of our shows, not Unschooled, but she's been on a bunch of things. We had Leslie Lyon, who's an incredible coach, and there's just great conversations about things that were coming up. And Unschooled are the things that we like to learn about that we didn't learn in school, as well as an opportunity to maybe relearn or rewire some of the things we did learn in school that aren't serving us. So that's what this is all about. And we were just sharing how we ran a 7-week series called Shadow Twerk, and we taught all kinds of tools and things to help you along your soul's journey. And a big part of that is our energetic body, our feelings, our nervous system, the stuff that comes up and how to manage that. So our vagus nerve is this incredible nerve that's in charge of all kinds of things in our body. And Lexi is teaching us about that right now, and then how to reset it. So back to you, Lex.
Awesome. So yeah, just a simple way to reset it. I always like to start with just practicing the pause for a minute. Who is it, Mandee, that says practice the pause that we love? One of our favorite teachers.
Oh, the 5-second rule, you mean?
Who I thought somebody said to practice the pause. Well, maybe it's you. It's probably you.
Everyone says practice the pause for sure. But yeah, we have a lot of shout outs around that one. But practicing the pause, like that's your cue for mindfulness. That's when you become conscious in your own mind and body, and you have a choice to either just react right away because of something, or practice that pause and have that few moments inside of yourself where you can say, actually, I want to respond. It's when like, oh, you know what? The candle behind me fell over and the curtain caught on fire. And I could be like, oh my God, like fire, I don't know what to do. Or I could be like, oh shit, there's a fire. Let me grab a water, start pouring it out right away, respond, go from there. So we can do the same thing in our own systems. And when we become more mindful and we start to have that conversation, and as Lexi said, we practice this pause, we're able to have so much control and so much choice, and so much opportunity to nurture ourselves. So this is one of those moments where when you're feeling that anxiety, that stress, that overwhelm, or something happened and you just need to chill after, this is a great way to reset it.
I was lately, for me, one of the themes in my life that I have to work on is I kind of live in this fear of the other shoe always dropping, right? Waiting for that next thing to happen, that next like hit of like, okay, how do we handle this problem, this next challenge? And so I've been working on trying to get myself out of that waiting and that kind of like, where you're like, oh, here it is, like, and your body tenses up. You notice when you get like that, a child needs something, or you get a phone call from work or something, whatever that hit may be, your body tenses. So that, starting with the practice of like, okay, as soon as I feel that tense, as soon as I feel that hit, that rise and change in or that wave of emotion coming to rush over me, because sometimes it can be anger, frustration, um, guilt, sadness, shame, fear, whatever it may be, taking that moment to practice that pause. And it's like just even saying it to myself in my mind while I take a breath, and it's like, practice the pause. Practice the pause is literally what I have to say to myself, because then I'm allowed to say, okay, what tool in my toolkit will best serve me right now? And a lot of the times, for me to even ask myself that, I immediately start resetting my vagus nerve. And it's as easy as starting by rubbing your earlobes. And a lot of the times I'll just start rubbing. Okay. But if you want to like check your vagus nerve, you can just pull on them and you'll feel either the tension and the tightness. Usually one side will feel different than the other. And just take note on how the tension feels in the pull. It's kind of like your test pull, right? Because after we go through the reset, you're going to recheck with a little pull, and you can feel a difference in it and know that, yeah, you did it. You're working on resetting that vagus nerve. So just nice little lower lobe massage, right? And just be breathing through it. Bring in your mindfulness to your breath. And even, reminding yourself, either in your mind, practicing the pause, gathering that moment to stand in your power and shift your chemistry in your body from going in overdrive, from stressing your adrenals. Kind of like picturing your adrenals almost like sucking back in that hit of hormones. Picture it relaxing, right? That's always kind of like what I like to do, because where your mind goes, your body follows. And you can go right up here, do right up top here. You can rub and pull. And just breathe. And notice. Do you feel any shifts in your body?
I do. I feel myself melting over here. And I felt some interesting things like start going down the back of my neck a bit, just like crackles and pops and maybe fluids or something.
Yeah, because this is also stimulating your lymph system, and your lymph system is like a subtle energy body. It's your body system that literally cleanses out the toxins. It's the waste management. It helps remove, the free radicals that your skin absorbs. It helps remove the toxins, the cellular waste. It helps keep your body system flowing and clean so it can function. We're supposed to be self-healing, right? Our body is meant to heal itself, but it gets clogged, right? And our energy can clog it. The metals and the toxins and free radicals that we're just polluted with nowadays can cause it. But we don't have to get overwhelmed and feel doomed, because we can bring our awareness to the little things that we can do to help our body release that, and to help our body stay protected and function, so that way it can take care of it. Get rid of the waste, get rid of the metals, get rid of the toxins, and help your body break free from those energetic blocks too. And I really like to, on your ears, you can pull right in here, just pulling, and all it feels release. Because what you're going to do, this vagus nerve,
I was going to say, remember you doing some kind of pull back forward hook thing or something?
So I'm going to get to that point. It's just, I like to just start by pulling in each direction, kind of. And then you really get in there. And then just lift. You're just kind of lifting, go each direction. A little pressure, a little lift, feel it. And
That's
this
so soothing.
is, runs down, and then you got all your ganglia, all your other nerves coming off of it too. So this is the point where it's coming out of your brain and into the rest of your body. So this spot is a really nice, easy way, and it's simple. So that way, if you're like in a car, You can pause anywhere and do this kind of discreetly. Take your And I always like to just do the rubbing down. This is a little lymphatic move too that gets your lymph system flowing. But this is just another move you can add to your routine. And you can just feel that shift in your body. And I'd love to know if any of you are doing it with us. Do you feel any changes? And that's just a nice way to then be able to bring your body back and, allow that your adrenals to support your adrenals so they're not constantly in overdrive, because the world has now created to keep us in overdrive, and that's not healthy. And then we wonder why so many of us feel like our immune systems are weakened. We're struggling with different ailments. I know I'm personally struggling with someone who's like, why is this happening to me? And when I sit with it, and allow spirit to come in, spirit's like, because you need to slow down and you need to take care of yourself and you need to go in and see what your body needs. And here's the thing, when we talk about our energy body, right? We forget, like, our energy body, our soul, and our body are they're separate. So when they come together, right, it's a lot happening. There's this little part of our soul in this vehicle, right? That's a relationship that we have to work on and bring our awareness to. Okay, our energy body expands outside of just the physical body. So when we walk into a room, when we go places and we feel drained after, or we walk into a room and we immediately feel tense, or we feel a flush of something, our body is picking up that the layers of our energy body are picking up things that we're not even aware of. On different levels, and that can also cause that hit to our adrenals. We're unaware that we're walking into a place and we're sensing something bad happen, or the negative energy in the room, or it's a lot of us are empaths, so we feel so much, and we wonder, oh my gosh, it feels so heavy, it's so exhausting. We're picking up stuff that's not even ours because we're unaware of how that energy body and those layers really work, and how then it physically affects us, physically, mentally, on every level, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Andrea said she feels more relaxed. Oh, I'm so glad you tuned in and you tried it out. It's amazing the little things that we can do when we practice that pause to nurture ourselves. And a big theme right now too is the crumbling, what's not serving us. It's the end of winter, spring is upon us. It's coming in a couple weeks here. And the final rumblings of like the dead of winter and what's dying off, not serving us, it's happening. And sometimes what we're not taught about a lot too, it's like everyone is operating out of trying to crisis mode, and instead of trying to survive, instead of trying to thrive. And something that happens for many of us, especially when you start to really walk a conscious and spiritual path and you're trying to follow your path, it's so important to do what's best for you and what's most in alignment. One of our sea goddesses, Crystal Jordan, who I do Spirit Speaks with, which we're still doing the show on Mondays, she has a lot of stuff going on in her life and in her growth and her career, and was like, I love Sea Goddess, but I just don't have the time commitment right now to like be doing this. And we were like, you know what? We love you. We support you. Do what you got to be doing right now. We honor that. And sometimes, like, especially, breaking up and things like that, it can be hard to do. But when we don't follow that, what happens, that's when resentment gets created. That's when we get more exhausted. That's when we're pushing out more than we can give at that time. And it's so important to start to give yourself permission for healthy endings. And what does that mean? And like, you know what? Okay, I don't have time for karate class this week because I really want to go to tarot class this week. And that's where my priority is and my energy, and it can be really that simple. And it's hard sometimes to leave situations or be done with stuff, but it's so important to listen to those stirrings in your soul and see what's coming in. And a lot of times it's inner boundaries, whether it's bedtime or doing a cleanse. I'm on day I think I stopped counting because I'm just trying to go for a long time, but I'm on like day 8 or 9 of a medical medium cleanse, and it feels amazing and I feel really good. And I chose to do that because I needed a flushing. I needed a clearing. The things I was eating weren't serving me anymore. I'm like, all right, holiday season brought me some joy, but I am bloated. I am imbalanced. I have more pain. I've gained some weight, like not feeling good. What can I do to say goodbye to that for a while and step into this. And it can happen in at a micro level or on a macro level in all kinds of different ways. But that is a big thing that's rising right now for many of us. Yes. Oh, hi. Emily says Tuesdays. And Kara said it's okay to grow. And Emily said, I'm so glad I jumped in at the end of the lymphatic face massage. I just picked up a gusha thing today. I don't know what that is. You,
So
Lex?
that's like they can be either made wooden or out of stone. Some are out of plastic, but it's this nice tool that is a great tool for
Is that like the roller, like the jade roller type thing?
similar to that. This yep, the gusha is this little shape, and it's got like kind of some U shapes. There's different ways to use the different sides to it depending on what part of the body you're working on. But it's a great
Okay.
use your fingers too. So it's like, it's made to kind of mimic the knuckle move that we see a lot of, and we use a lot in lymphatic drainage, and then the V shape kind of that we use like that. So yeah, great tool though.
Yay. Go, Emily. Awesome. So thank you all so much for tuning in and being here and jamming with us a bit. Lex, what do you want to chat about next?
So you were talking about the cleanse and the growing right now and the shedding. I feel like we're in such a major tower moment collectively. I feel like so many people right now are going through things that are arising for that exact reason of bringing up our awareness to the things that we need to kind of release, let go, and step to that place where it's like we kind of slow down per se and like let things fall away to make room for what we want to call in, and for just for yourself, falling into alignment with yourself. Um, and when you talked about being on day 9, one of the things I want to talk about is feeling like failing at my cleanse. There was a couple of times I was like, no, I am not failing at this cleanse because I didn't stick with it for each, portion of the day. I'm finding alignment in my life by that balance of, the cleanse and then what my body was feeling led to, I mean, called to. And so like forgiving myself, and that's not a failure, that it's that mindset. Because I remember it was a year ago that I attempted my first time at the medical medium cleanse, and I kept having to restart because I was just had that mindset that I was failing because I wouldn't make it past like lunchtime without cheating on, then putting in one of the non-negotiable items, or not non-negotiable, one of the items that they,
Suggest you avoiding for the cleanse, which is usually like radical fats. It's like, no, well, medical medium is very vegan and a lot of raw, and so it's no meat, sugar, dairy, gluten. I think that's about it. For me, I'm going to stay gluten-free, sugar-free, and dairy-free for a while because it's really serving me. I do miss some meat though, so I'm going to be calling that back in. And the first time that I did this, that it lasted a long time, was 8 months. I stuck to it for a long time because it literally brought me back to life and made me feel better. And then for me and my body, what I was craving was some meat. And for me, it's more like I like lighter meats like chicken or fish or something. Not so much. I get really bad gout attacks. So I can't do a lot of like sausage or red meat, stuff like that, even though I love it. Can't have it. That's okay. Everybody is different, and you will find what works for your body and serves you and makes you feel good and fuels you. For me, I was always afraid to eat fruit because I grew up a little overweight in diet culture, and all the diets were like, fruit's bad, stay away. And I was so scared of it. And it's what healed me, like especially like pineapple and bananas and apples and all these things I was always like really afraid of is what started bringing me back to life. And I'm still well on my journey. I still got, places to go, but I feel better now than I have in the past 10 years for sure. Like it's just, I just keep feeling better and better every time I do this. And so for me, I'm doing like the medical medium has all kinds of amazing books and doing lives all the time and constantly putting out recipes. So I just make like new recipes and stick to that and like have all different types of things that are just medical medium friendly. And that works well for me. And then when I want to or need to, I'm adding in a little protein right now, a little meat protein, I should say. And it's helping me find my balance. And I've realized when I don't count as much and I zoom out, I last way longer. And when I meet myself with true forgiveness and not criticism and that like, oh, I failed or like I cheated already, I'm like, wait a minute, let me zoom out. Okay, I've been going at this thing for like 7 days. And all right, I cheated a little on something. I had some sour cream or whatever it is that I didn't really like want. What if you zoom out and you're like, actually, out of the 40 meals I just had, one of them was like not kosher. However, it brought me joy and I can forgive myself in this moment and be proud of myself for all the other stuff. So when I zoom out and I do that, it helps me give myself a little pleasure when I want. And then I realize I don't even crave it as much anymore because I gave myself that permission and I'm not fighting myself as much. So there's so many opportunities in that whole thing and challenge and discipline. And when you do start to get through it a bit, it literally just makes you feel better. Right,
Yeah,
Lex?
it does. It does. And right now, with all the crazy stuff that we have going on with like the spills, the chemical spills, like all of this insane just stuff that is out of our personal control, for me, the cleanse is a way that I can care of myself and like can support my body to protect itself during this crazy time.
Crazy.
It is so insane. So I'm like, okay, how do we just, you know, keep showing up for our my vessel, right? That's been one of my goals for 2023 is the relationship with myself and my vessel. And it's funny because in Soul Circle last night, one of our inquiry questions was, okay, how was it worded about how are you resisting your humanness? Right? Was that how it was worded? And
Yep,
that
something like
question
that.
has been like,
Resisting or avoiding.
yeah, how are you resisting or avoiding your humanness? And that question, it's been screaming so loud at me, your relationship with your vessel. Because
Mm,
the vessel is what makes us human, right? It's a portion of our soul comes into this vessel to light it up, to have this experience on this realm and this earth. And I feel like we're kind of set up to feel like our body is our enemy. Like a lot of us, I feel like I was conditioned, especially as a woman when I was growing up, that my body was like had to be a certain way in order for it to be good, and all of these really like negative mindsets, right? And also that I had no control over my body and I didn't know, and it wasn't something I could, just there was a lot of lacking of that empowerment and that healthy relationship with my body. And
mm,
I, in my early, years of motherhood, the very beginning of my motherhood, while I was pregnant with my first son, I got to hold a class, an after school program for young girls in middle school and about body image. And
mm,
theme now where it's like, wow, to think about how my relationship as an adult with my body, these little things were kind of seeded throughout my childhood. And, society just really can be rough on us. If they can nitpick, you can be afraid to put yourself out there and be authentic because, you just see people getting picked apart. And really, this relationship with our bodies is like sacred and should be our key relationship. In order, we need to fill our cup, right, in order to be able to have our cups full in other relationships and call those in. So it's like that focus into my body on how do I take care, how do I keep that channel clear to connect, for my soul to connect and have this humanist experience, and realizing I was hating my body so much, which was essentially
why they taught us. That's why they taught us to hate our bodies so much. Because
right.
that's why they taught us to hate our bodies so much. That's why we were programmed this way, because our vessels truly are the vehicles to our dreams. And
Yeah.
each and every one of these wild ass flesh suits is completely different from everybody else's. Sure, we have some like similar things, but for the most part, like we are coming down here to be a soul embodied and experience. And this is our vehicle. And then we're taught in conscious programming from others that we should hate ourselves, we shouldn't love ourselves, that when we get an injury, it's because of something outside or something's wrong or something's weird and we're not connected to our body. We don't know what's going on. And then Lexi and I have learned through many teachers and experiencing it with ourselves that once we changed our mindset and we started talking to ourselves a little differently, our vessel responded to that and healed really quickly. And Dr. Joe Dispenza literally talks about breaking his back and rewiring it with his mind and with love and with light and God force energy and how much that worked. So pepper
Yeah.
and grease. It's true.
And you know, for me, the medical medium experience, and in his book, Cleanse to Heal, he talks about like prep for the cleanse was the spirituality part and that connection, ready for things to come up. And what I didn't realize, and why I now preach doing these cleanses and making time for that cleanse, is because it's literally every time I do it, I feel like I clear out so much emotional junk too, not just physical. Um,
Yeah.
junk and physical junk. It's tied together. And then what I've recently kind of learned or come to realize, right? We're pumped with all of these metals and toxins. Right? We have titanium dioxide, aluminum, whatever, phosphate, and everything. It's in our baked goods. It's an anti-caking powder, in flours, and in certain things. It's in our deodorant, our shampoo, all of this stuff. These metals come into our body, right? And then they
Yep.
get stored within our fat. They get stored throughout our body, and then it affects our body's frequency. It affects our body's ability to function the way it should. And so it's like one of those blocking things that, you know, to bring the awareness to, okay, well, how is this, we're putting this stuff in our body, it's having effects, it's actually holding on to those emotional charges too. Do you know what I mean? And it's crazy how it all comes in together. It's never just like one thing. It's never like, oh, diet. It's, you need that spiritual work, that shadow work. You need that all to come together. And it's that intricate woven little fabric web of our existence and our experience. And
That's
as
where that holistic thing comes in. You have all these parts to make you whole, and spirit is one of the biggest parts that we're also disconnected from.
yeah. And when we just did it, we just went over the chakras, right? For shadow twerks. We went through how each chakra, where it is, how it affects the body. And I swear every week we went over it. And then once we would bring our awareness to it, that following week, I would experience that, the physical shifts, and see that connection of how, as I worked on that chakra, how those body parts connected with it also started to clear out and work better. And it brought my awareness to, where do I need to be focusing on? Like, what are the aspects? And so, I really felt afterwards that cleanse was so important. And as a lot of us, I feel like, want to love ourselves and learn how to love ourselves better, and want to find that balance. We want to find, how do we take care of ourselves and fill our cup, keep our cup full, so we can be pouring to those that we love and into the things that we love, so we're not always pouring from that empty cup. And when our vessel is clear and clean, I feel like it allows for that to happen. It helps get us into that flow state. And so it's just one of those potent things right now, where as we're in that time of year where those seeds that are buried are, shedding away those layers, getting ready to sprout and take on a new chapter in their growth. So are we. We're meant to too right now. We're meant to be living with these seasons, and that's what I feel like a lot of us are feeling called to, right? Do that clearing, that work to get ready for that next growth, that next blossom, that next chapter season that we're approaching in our life.
Totally. I just wanted to read a couple of the comments. Emily said, I get so excited when I hear you guys talk about this cleanse and how good you feel. It does its job. It's amazing. And like, it's work. You got to prep it all. You got to change your taste a little bit. You got to cut out your favorite foods for a while. But all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this is vibrant and it feels good. And even I just noticed doing food prep, connecting with the food, like I enjoy it so much more, because it's like I cut a lime and I'm like, this is amazing, and ginger, and like it ends up being so colorful and beautiful, and all the fresh produce and stuff. And so it ends up being a whole aromatic experience as well, and aromatherapy. And Emily said, thanks for stoking that spark. And then Jessie commented about our deep questions in Soul Circle, which was, she said the questions went really deep and it was super revealing for me too. It was a deep one, but that's where the energies lined up and that's where they were, love we hold everything in love and light, but a big part of this journey is looking in the darker stuff, going through the mud. And I was actually going to joke around because you're approaching soon mud season in Vermont and New England have a whole nother season in between spring and summer called mud season, where well, I guess winter and spring, called mud season, where all the snow is melting and it is literally muddy. It is muddy for a while up there. And the mud is such a cool place to also grow. And there's so many nutrients and cool things there. And lotus flowers can grow from that. So big opportunities right now.
Yeah, and it's like we got to embrace the muddiness of life, right?
Yeah.
Yes, because I feel like so many times that's what we like avoid and think about it, right? We've been conditioned to even tell our kids don't get dirty when really our kids need to get dirty because it's so vital. It's grounding. It helps with their, negative and positive ion charge, their personal energy. It also helps build their, immune system. So it's like, why are we not bringing back the embrace the mud, muddy times, embrace the muddiness, and see the it does. It then brings some beautiful, beautiful things. So, and we need the muddiness, and that leads into like needing to cry, needing those tears, right? We need to water our soul garden to create that muddiness. So release it. Let the sacred waters flow.
Exactly. And Emily commented and said, my body is something I need to conquer. And that's so true. I used to think that too. You needed to conquer this. And really, it's something that we need to embrace. And it's amazing what can happen when we start to do that. I'm still working on it. We all are. We're always constantly changing and growing and ebbing and flowing. And there's opportunity for reconstruction of how we think about ourselves. So I'm glad you brought that up. And then Jesse said, oh my God, I can't wait to go mudding. And Emily said, we're in full-blown mud season here in Michigan right now. Emily said the fertile mud, and Jessie May said mud bogging, whoop, hard eyes. So I've done some serious mud bogging in Vermont. I know you have.
Oh yes. We love mud season here. That's like our favorite time of year. So I love it because that's mud season and like garden season, right? Time to get dirty, and it is the best. And I'm ready. I'm ready to get dirty, and get wild. The dirt it is. It's so grounding. It's so funny because there's so many. I know like shamans too that are like touch the dirt, connect. Like the dirt connects us with our ancestors. It connects us with so much more, and like the sacredness of it, like just go touch some dirt. Go put your hands in some mud, right? Feel that spark. Fill your cup up with some good old energy.
Yes. So maybe the way we'll wrap this up, Ursula and I and Lexi and a couple other sea goddesses have a soul circle that we'd like to do and hold for ourselves every Wednesday. So we're going to be shooting out to that shortly. But before we wrap up, I want to share some of our offerings that are coming up. Oh, and Emily said, I just had the urge to have a mud bath. I know it's some kind of ancient thing, but it sounds appealing at this very moment, right? There's another opportunity. Get in there. If you do it, let us know how it goes. Yes, so coming up at Sea Goddess Healing Arts, we've got this Sunday, Goddesses in Recovery with Lexi, your amazing guide and goddess and the Mermaid in the Mountains. And that's for anyone who is in recovery, supporting someone in recovery, supporting someone in active addiction, whatever it is. It's an opportunity to just hold some space around people who've been through some kind of similar shit and an opportunity to help one another heal, grow, guide each other, and stay present and stay here and hold each other with tenderness. We've got a self-love and care 101 online coming up in March. I think that's March 18th. I think around March 22nd, somewhere around there. Ursula's teaching Lunar Alchemy class online, which will be really cool. I have an in-person workshop, How to Build a Relationship with Your Angels at Zen Landing, on March 9th coming up. And I'm also going to be offering that online, but it has not been posted yet. And yeah, and then we just had an online soul circle last night. So our next one will be coming up soon. And we love you all. And we're grateful you hopped on to this and let us test out our kinks and figure things out. So yes, let's end on a couple card readings. Go ahead, Lex.
So I have to share the card that I pulled from Denise Lynn's The Sacred Forest Oracle, because what we're talking about, look what we got today. Frog Spirit. Renewal.
Well, that's magical.
Number 20. A large golden brown frog sits heavy on a lily pad in a still pond as a warm, sleepy dusk dissolves into night. Its deep, sonorous song reverberates through the rising chirps of crickets. The chorus of the frogs are loud and joyous, seeming to echo loudly in your soul. A gaggle of tadpoles lurks at the edge of the pond, hidden and safe, waiting with expectant patience until their metamorphosis.
Oh, metamorphosis. The frog. All about that metamorphosis.
The frog's 3 stages of development, egg, tadpole, fully formed infant, symbolize renewal, resurrection, and transformation. This card speaks of a profound restoration of your life that is occurring. It's never too late to begin again. If your past was less than successful, remember this. What has occurred does not need to mandate what will occur. You can start out fresh and new. However, if you do what you have always done, you will get what you have always gotten. In order to reboot your life, you need to do things in a different way. Abounding good luck is activated and awaiting you. Reflect on the varying symbolism of the frog in different cultural traditions and see if any meanings resonate for you at this time. In ancient Egypt, the frog symbolized birth and rebirth. In Native American traditions, frog medicine is healing by virtue of its transformative life. Ancient Celts believed frogs represented healing because of its connection with water and the way that it transforms from tadpole to adult. In China, the frog is a powerful symbol of prosperity, healthy childbirth, and good luck. The spirit of the frog says, be willing to release any preconceived notions of how life should unfold. This is a time to be adaptable. Be willing to change. Abundance and good fortune will follow.
Well, that is very divine and very magical. And I think a visit from our beautiful friend Leah, who transitioned last year, well, a little less than a year ago, but last calendar year, looks just like her. And the magical thing about that is she sends frogs to her mom and told her mom that she was going to send frogs. And we'll have to share that with her mom because she has changed and morphed so much in so many magical ways and continues to. So I love that so much for so many reasons.
That's
and
right.
For all of us as we're muddy and metamorphosing.
Yeah, and the funny thing is I Leah on the other side with the flowers in her hair. I always see her with a ring of flowers in her hair. So when I pulled this card, I was like, this could not be more of a sign. Leah is hanging with us today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I just love it. Emily said, heck yes, I feel so much. Thank you, Frog Spirit. And Jessie said, beautiful and lots of hearts. Excellent. Oh, and Ursula sent a green heart. I think that's a beautiful message to end on today.
Me too. Thank you, everybody, so much for showing up for our first live Unschooled.
Yes, this was a success. We've got more topics coming, more guests. Some days we might do some readings, things like that. Just you'll be along for the ride as we are. We are mermaids, deep diving, swimming around, and exploring in this show. Thank you so much for being here, for holding space, and we're sending you all so much love today. Take care, guys. Bye.